Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me for our first in this week's stamp set of the week, Darling Dinos, and our first card. It's a simple card with a little bit of background detail and a very, very cute dinosaur. If you had seen my video earlier on today, you will see that I had introduced you to this wonderful set with 25 dies and 16 stamps. But let's focus on our card for today. So it's this little card here, and I shall bring in my supplies. So I have gone for Lemon Lolly now. So that measures 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have a piece of white cardstock which measures 3 inches by 4 3/4, and then I have a layering piece which is literally 1/8 of an inch wider, so it is 3 inches 1/8 and 4 by 7/8, and that's our focal point. And then I've got our inside piece at 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and then I have a little bit of scrap for this little bow tie down here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually different from normal. We're going to fold this card into half, like so. I'm going to burnish with a bone folder if we can find what I've done with mine. It's probably right here in front of me, I just can't see it. So I'm going to use my finger. You could use the edge of your glue, should you wish to. Okay, so we are going to focus on this piece of paper first, and because I'm using a photopolymer stamp set, I'm bringing in my spongy base and a piece of scrap paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, sorry about that, we went totally out of focus, I do apologise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp all over this piece of cardstock. And normally I do tone on tone, but what I found, I was using the Lemon Lolly, but it was too light. It didn't give enough a contrast. So I've gone for Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to stamp all over this background and give it like a background, I suppose a one sheet wonder. And I'm going to use a number of the stamps. So these ones are some rocks. So I'm just, don't forget when you do it, you're going to stamp on and off of the piece of paper. That way it looks like more continued. 1, 2, I'm only going to do about 5 of each. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's do another one down here. Okay, then I'm going to bring in, so we've got some grass. I know Lemon Lolly grass or Daffodil Delight grass probably isn't what you would find, but you know, it is a fantasy card. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do one over here. Then I'm bringing in some, I suppose they could be dinosaur prints, or they could be where splodges of rain. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to do, and somebody I'm sure is going to tell me what I'm missing. Now I'm focusing on the outside, because obviously when this piece of paper is put into place, you will find that it's all the outside pieces that you're going to see, stamping you're going to see, rather than the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably a bit down here. Let's have a look. Let's go over this way. Okay, so that's that one. Then I have got some leaves. So let's put those in. So these are the double leaf. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably, let's do a bit here. Now, what I suggest is that you take your piece of yellow, pop it down and see where you think you might want some more detail. So I'm thinking I'm going to get the blocks and I'm going to add a block, rock, not a block. I'll add a rock there. And what else? That's probably what I'm going to do on that piece. And a bit of grass maybe over here as well. And then I'm going to add a bit of splodge. So let's turn that splodge around that way. Do I need any for the top? Probably, so let's do a bit of splodge up there as well. That's better. Problem is you don't want to add too much and take away from the focal point, but then you don't want it to look there. You're just adding a background. You don't want it to look too patchy. Okay, so there is our outline with all of our detail, mainly around the outside. So now the things to do is to stamp our dinosaur. So whereas I had the long neck before, we're going for the T-Rex this time. And I'm going to stamp him up in the Memento black. So I'm going to pop him... Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? Let's turn that over. I'm going to pop him just down there. Oh, he's so cute. And then I'm going to... When my kids were little, they used to watch a program called The Land Before Time, and it was all about dinosaurs. And we've just introduced it to my grandchildren, who are as fascinated in it as my kids were back in the day, which is lovely. Okay, he's ready to go inside. So I'm just going to pop him there and keep him aside so he's out of the way. And then I'm going to add a few balloons. So I've got a string. Okay, so we're going to have one string about there. And then I'm going to do two more. One down here. And let's turn that around slightly. And one up there. And then you can add your little balloon top. One, two, and then the last one, three. And this is where our scrap of paper comes in, as she says. And I'm going to stamp out 3 of these little bows. 2 and oops, 3. And then we can colour everything in. So the colours I'm using are, this is actually the dark lemon lolly. So this will match up and tone in with the paper. I've then got the dark balmy blue. Okay. And then I've got real red. And I'm sticking to the 3 colours, and that will be how I colour in all my dinosaurs. Because the balmy blue isn't as powerful or as strong as I would like it, I have brought in the Night of Navy for the sentiment. So let's do that. Bring that down so I can actually see where I'm putting it. And then all we need to do is colour it in. But to save time, I have gone ahead as usual and coloured in everything, and also stamped out my, or punched out, or cut out even, my 3 bows. So here's our cute dinosaur. And what I'm going to do with the bows this time is I'm actually going to attach them to the balloons. So I have got a fine tip glue pen here, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue. She says if I can see it. There we go, on there, and then my bow can go in place. I've got my little pointy tool so I can move it around a bit. There we go, well done. And then another dab down here. Put the red there. And then, do excuse me, I seem to have got this stinking cold. I thought it was flu because every bone in my body ached and I just felt really poorly at the weekend, but the aching bones have all gone and I've just got this nasty cough that seems to be sitting on my chest. So here we go. Let's put that in. Go on, in you go. There we are. Now the other thing I didn't do on the other card is I'm actually going to put some glitter on my wing castella onto my balloons so that they shine a bit. Now remember, if you're highlighting colour, just make sure before you go on to the next one that you dab your brush onto a piece of scrap paper to make sure that you're not going to transfer any colour over to the next colour. So there we have got some nice little shine there. I'm going to bring it up and hopefully you'll be able to see it. You see the glitter there? Oh, perfect. So the only thing we need to do now is to layer it onto our bases. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Steel. So I'm just going to add tiny bits into place, like so. And then obviously I'm going to add the inside layer to the card. For some reason I seem to have got myself a smudge up the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add myself a balloon just to cover that smudge. Now what have I done with me? Oh, I've covered it up, that's why I can't see it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my balloon and I'm going to hover over the smudge like so, and then I'm going to add the streamer. Do excuse me if my head is in the way, I'm just trying to see. There we go, and that will cover up my little blip that is there. And now we can add our inside, and I'm actually going to give it a little bit of height by adding the dimensionals. So one on each end, one in each corner, should I say, not end, and one in the middle would suffice on this card. Perfect. Now if you want to see the stills for this particular card, you should find it on my Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. And obviously I will also put the measurements for this card on my blog. And then you can just hover that over, making sure I've got it in the right place. There we are. And now we have two very cute dinosaur cards. So thank you for joining me today. I will be back on Wednesday with our slightly stepped up version and revisited Wednesday. So do join me then, and I look forward to catching up with you later on. Take care everybody, and thank you. Bye.